Okay, so the in-season tournament is going on, and I'm still sort of like, and with the in-season tournament, not the games themselves, but the whole like we're a lot more pumped up and amped about it. I was like, I get it. It's really weird how to, because I was like, I heard like the players are being like, oh man, like, like it seemed like it's more intense. It seemed like it's a playoff game, blah, 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 this whole thing. And I don't know. It's just really odd to me that I'm like, I understand the cash prize of it all, and especially to some of those younger teams with the younger player, the player that ain't got contracts. I get that. And also the coaches, they also get the money and stuff. I get that. And sure, you get to hold up a trophy at the end of it. And my whole premise was that I'm like, I really feel like at the end of the tournament is really just also going to be the people that we expect to see at the end of the actual real tournament. Now, as far as like the intensity and stuff like that, I sort of have felt it. I sort of have seen it in the games, um, in a way that you don't really get that when regular season game. It's really just weird to me, I guess, that all you had to do was be like, hey, we're playing a tournament where y'all get a trophy and some cash at the end. And it was like, all right, then let's go. I don't. I'm like, you're really just playing regular season games. And they're just like, man, in this like couple week stretch, y'all are the winners. I don't understand the weird motivation there is in it, to be honest. I get the idea of it from Adam Silver and all their point. I get their motives of it, of like, like this is really for like years down the road where it's like, think about it. Like all of us older people, and the older one before that, we see something new and we're like, this is stupid, this is dumb, what's the purpose? But the younger people, they're never going to have that thought because this is all they know. So therefore, they're going to be like, oh, this is awesome, this is cool, awesome. They're the in-season champs, and then we got the like out-season champs. So I get it from that perspective. It's just sort of weird. I mean, look, I was like, I guess I'm old in that type of sense, but I do think this is dumb. But I was like, I get it. I still can think that it's dumb though. But in saying that, I was like, a lot of the games have been pretty good. As for instance, I was like, Dallas and Dallas and the Clipper played, and I don't know if Dallas is just that good or the Clippers is that bad, but they pretty much got drugged for like 40 points, and that was by the third quarter. Um, and it seemed like everybody on Dallas scored. Luca and Kyrie, sure, that's a given. Of course they scored. But I was like, Dante Exum was out here, and I was like, it seemed like he had like 10 points in like a 3 minute span. Of course, Hardaway could score. I was like, Lively was getting like, they was like lobbing dunks to him. Hardy was over here getting to the basket. I like Derrick Jones hitting threes. It just, and then the Clipper just seemed like they would just, and I was like, sometimes they have these hiccups, but I was like, I know they're still getting used to Harden and stuff, but I was like, Harden is over here just getting like turned over. It's like sometimes they'll get stagnant. I was like, I know they can't really sometimes do things with, like sometimes with Westbrook, how they have to play him. I was like, Zubac is really the only big man, and sometimes they can't play him. They got to play small. It's just really. I mean, it's like it's going to take some time for that to be figured out. Like no, like duh. But you also think that with just like Kawhi and Harden and George, and then you got some role players that it at least will be a look. You can at least stay in the game. You wouldn't be getting your ass busted like that. And actually looking at the team, I was like, I know the Clippers just made a trade, and there's no other trades. But they got a lot of the same type of players with those three, Norman Powell, Bones Highland. They got so many bucket getters that I feel like they have too many bucket getters. And I was like, But the problem is that with the Clippers, you can't double negative. You can't not have that many because you also don't know what Kawhi or Paul George gonna go down. So if one of them goes down, then boom, we got those shot creators. It's just very Terrence Mann also like came back, so it's like he's another dude, but at least he's willing to he'll take his shot, but he'll play defense and stuff like that too. At least with Westbrook, it's like he's gonna play with like toughness and he's gonna rebound and pass, and he's gonna have an all out round game. I was like, but on the other hand, if that's how if I was like, I don't think the Dallas is gonna be on that level because they was making some crazy shots, like they was heating up crazy and like way down, like that's like some 2K where it was just like they got the ball after they shouldn't have got the ball, and then he got the ball, and then it's like three, and it's like run down, oh, three, and it was cause like they was down for a minute, and then came right back, and it was like, all right, cool. They ain't got no words in the world at all at this rate with the way that they I was like they're playing. So but that was just a wild game of just thinking of like how fast it all happened. But yeah. So then I was like Philly is just also in one of those, the flip side of the Clippers trade. They were already playing pretty well, but I think they're sort of the opposite version of the Clippers, where they don't really have other than Embiid, Maxey, and Tobias. Everybody else is just filling their role, just doing their part. And while I think there's some trade I feel like they could do, to me, like getting like Alex Caruso might not be a bad idea. Something like I don't think they need nothing big. I just think they need more solid role player. But even in saying that, they got good role players here, and I'm like, everybody just does their little bit, and then you got a couple people stepping up while those three are still doing their thing. And I was like, Detroit is also a young, scrappy team. They've been playing a little bit better. I was like, Cade is also, I was like, he, coming off his injury. I was like, so far I think he's been pretty well of like what most people been wanting to see from him as well. I was like, my overall thoughts of Detroit is really that I'm just like, they got a plethora of people that are just kind of like, I feel like this is something I'll just be throwing out lineups and stuff to be like, one of these young dudes gonna work. Otherwise, we just gonna start shipping that thing out. The Hornets, who I was like, they play the Wizard, and I was like, they was able to. Also, shout out to Kelly Oubre, because I was thinking about how he was with the Hornets and now with the Sixers. I was like, shout out to him. Anyway, the Hornets, with Ball and Miller, they also just got. It was also another like one of the weird games of like, to me, that seeing Kuzma and Poole, and like they got a lot. They got with and like Zazonia and Kirkman. I was like, I don't know, but that dude been like lighting it up from like what I've been seeing. I was like, dude, like who was this dude? That's somebody I wish that they had on the Hornets, like that type of shooter. Like not Gordon Hayward's cool and all, but no. He's not that type of shooter anyway. He's more of a all around type of dude. But the Hornets, I was like, they got this victory in this one, but I think it was really helpful with even though Gafford was over here, he like blocked the hell out of, I think it was like PJ just like 3 times in a row. I sort of forgot after a while after the third block, because I'm like, damn, you still getting blocked? Just take that, just bring that bitch out. Like, stop doing that. I was like, Brandon Miller and LaMelo look like I'm over here just cross fingering that LaMelo doesn't get hurt for the most part. Spurs with Wemby and Anthony Edwards, and also I like talk about a good matchup of you got 3 different types of 7-footers. You got Wemby, Rudy, and you got Cat. All 3 different types. You got like really more like shooter with Cat. Really all he does is perimeter based stuff. Rudy, who is like doing lobs and he's all defense, and then Wemby that's over here just like, yo, I'm gonna improve on all that stuff. And it was one of them things where you got to see like the future that's Wemby and the present that is with Anthony Edwards. And Anthony Edwards is, I was like, his game is really smooth. Like it just is like effortless, right? Like you see he's at the point now where it's like, okay, this is what like we're at that moment. Cause early on, it was like, of course he was like it almost made me think of like Levine, but he's a lot more refined. Which is, weird to say. Where like Levine was like really, like total rim dunking, and then he just started being like a 3-point shooter, and then now he's trying to be like all around game. Where like Anthony Edwards, I feel like same way, going to the rim, dunker, jump shooter, shooting a three. But now I feel like it's actually like there where it's like the pace is right. I was like his moves is all going to get he had a move where it just looked like Kobe, where he just went to the hole and he just turned around. He just like spun around backwards and just hit the fadeaway jumper, and it was just like nothing. Where he just coming down the lane, and like he always does like his pull up threes, but I'm like he had like a defender and stuff like that beside him and in front of him, and it didn't matter. I was like he was able to take Wemby out, and I was like he knew how. I was like he was able to get the shot out before Wemby could even like use his length and jump up there. He also got Wemby when he went to the basket, and it was all like Jordan-esque where it looked like he was about to go up here, and then Wemby like and he just flipped it to the other side. Man, that was crisp. But Wemby also on the same hand, I was like you can still tell he's like a rookie with things. He's still feeling his way out, and but it was on the day of like deep, as as far as like I'm not expecting him to be permanent like that, but seeing how it's like, oh, this dude gonna shoot it from the logo. Okay, all right, he gonna shoot it from the logo. I was like, he did one. I was like, I think it was on Gobert, where it was all up for display, where it was just like crossover, fade, like step back, fade away, net, nothing, and it was just like, oh, he in the zone. You don't want to play with that. That's in the zone. That's crazy. Cause I'm like, yeah, cause I was like, yeah, and I was like, and also too that it is just. They threw him a pass nearly full court, and he caught it, and he just backwards dunked it. Now that might have been that one. That one might have been the one where he just regular dunked it. The other one might have been where the dude grabbed at the 3-point line, threw it to him, and he backwards dunked it while there was like 3 other people like around him. And he just did it so effortlessly. Either way, whatever 2 combinations that was, whatever. The end point was that he basically got it in a lobbing situation and just dunked it backward with 3 other people around. He just so long. It's just going to be ridiculous. But I also like to see, cause I was like, I've been wondering like, okay, how this going to work with other people playing on with his tall ass. And Anthony Edwards basically, he just that good, to be honest. For that to even happen. But yeah, I was like, look, I'll say this about the NCAA tournament. I'll say something nice. The courts, they're weird, they're funky, and I'm sort of here for it. Like, if I was like 20, I probably really love the hell out of these. But I like them. Maybe that's just the curmudgeon in me. It made me think of where like the NFL was doing like the funky helmets, where they're doing like the half and half, like airbrush stuff. Whatever, people didn't like it, but of course the young people did. Or like how Oregon does their stuff. Old people like but young people like, oh, what? The bright color ass shoes for no reason. Don't match your outfit, but hey, everybody rocking them. Yeah, I'm like, look, if we get some more intensity and we get some more impact with the games, then I'm all for it. It's just sort of weird where like Tuesday and Friday is the NCAA tournament game, and then everything before that, regular season. That really just feels weird or whatever. I thought, to me, they should just did it straight. But whatever. Anyway, I was just a couple of my thoughts of watching some of the NC tournament. I know there were a few other games I did get to. I was like, and teams in general that I've also got to catch up on, like watching and seeing how they are. I don't want to just come out here and just spit some like bull crap or whatever. Like I didn't get to. I know the Lakers. Like I know they won. I didn't really get to see how they won. But I also got thoughts about the Lakers. But I was like, I guess they won, so I'll save it for when they lose. You know, that way it's a little bit more impact. They need to make a trade. Anyway, you like the video. I appreciate it. Thanks. What are your thoughts on the NCAA tournament in general and the games? I was like, in general of the tournament, the purpose of it, and then also whatever the games are. If you don't like the video, hey, maybe next time. But till then, peace.